I thought that I would do this video to help people who are looking at traveling with their service dog. I'm going to mention some successes that I've had and some of my errors and mistakes, so that I can hopefully help somebody not do what I've done. So I guess my errors that I'm going to mention are kind of cautionary tales, so to speak. And I will hopefully help you with going through the process. One thing that I should mention is I have more experience flying internationally than I do domestically, so I'm not going to touch on domestic travel so much as I'm going to do more international travel. And for those that have flown domestically, please comment below and let or even those that have traveled as much as I have or have experience traveling with their service dog, please feel free to share your ideas, your comments, your horror stories, your successes. The whole purpose of this is to, hopefully assist people. Because I know how overwhelming it is when you have no clue what to expect. It's an intimidating experience to fly the first time with your service dog. So I'm going to jump right into it. So the big thing that you want to do is you want to allot at least 2-3 hours. I'm going to lean more at the 3-hour mark for international flights, and I'll say 2 hours for domestic. And that is from the time that you board. So if you have a 12:30 flight, they're going to start pre-boarding at noon. So you want to be at the gate at noon. So that you have a chance to do or get on the plane. And so that is a big thing. And if you allot enough time, then you will be able to get through security. You will be able to have your dog do enough potty breaks. I'm not sure about the Canadian airports, but I know all of the American airports that I have gone to, they have pet relief areas. And one suggestion that I should give you guys is get your dog used to going to the bathroom on AstroTurf, because that is what they use in the pet relief areas. Unfortunately, I didn't know that, and so I didn't get Jelly Bean used to doing that, and so she actually doesn't like the feel of it, and she will not go to the bathroom in the pet relief areas, no matter how hard I try to encourage her. Even though she has to go, she won't go. So that has actually created a bit of an issue, which I will mention in a few minutes. So those are some of my suggestions. Is a lot, like I said, 2-3 hours. I'd lead more 3 for international flights, and 2 hours for domestic flights to, like I said, get you through security and allow you time to get your dog to go to the bathroom. What do you need? I'm not sure what kind of documentation you need for domestic, but for international, you do need a copy of your dog's vet records. And what the Canadian Border Services and even TSA, if you're coming from the United States into Canada, is they are looking to see that your dog has had its rabies shots and they're up to date on their rabies shot. The other vaccinations, they could care less, but that is the big one that they are looking for, and they will ask you for a vet record. Okay, so actually going through security, it's really not that bad. So you just, basically, the whole, take your shoes off, if you have belts, whatnot. And because of Jelly Bean's harness, when I have her in her boldly designed harness or a vest, because of the metal bits on the harness or her vest, always triggers the metal detector. So one of the things that I do is I get her to go before me, and then once she has passed the metal detector, then I go with her. And what a training another training tip that I should mention is, and this comes in actually the assessment, the qualification test actually is a good reason for practicing this, but this is a real life application of that, and that is getting your dog used to a stranger taking your dog. I actually experienced that on my way back to come home from Philadelphia. The TSA supervisor asked me if he could handle Jelly Bean. Well, we went through separately, and I said that was fine. So I handed him the leash. She went through. The metal detector went off. I waited a few seconds, and then I proceeded through. And then he, did a pat down. So they will pat the dog, put their fingers under the harness. They will test for, GSR or whatever they test for, drugs. So they'll swab the vest. They swab your hands, and then you're good to go. So I'm used to always getting a pat down because it happens every time I travel, so it's not a big deal anymore. It's not as big and scary as, so I haven't had any bad experiences actually with the pat down aspect of things. Then after you go through the whole metal detector security thing, then what the next step is, you fill out a declaration form, and one of the things that is, I think it's been on a thing for, I'll say 2 years now, is where you have to declare your service dog. And so when there's a question about, are you bringing in fruit, vegetables, animals, whatever, you click yes for that one, or check off the box, because not every airport is going to have the electronic kiosks. And the reason why that is, and this is what it was explained to me, is people were going to, say, Mexico and bringing back these rescue dogs and then charging money for them without claiming them at the border. So the government has kind of stepped up a notch, and so you have to claim your service dog, whereas before you didn't have to. So that's not a big deal. That's, and if you don't, you can, if it's your first time and you're not sure, just explain that you didn't know where to mark it off or whatnot. And they're very, very good. And they can see your service dog in front of you. So, it's not going to be a big disaster. The worst case scenario is you might get taken to second, and that's really not that bad. I've been through it once, and it's just answering a few questions, and not a big deal. So that is that aspect of the flying, and one of the things that I'm going to mention, and this is the importance of getting your dog used to going to the bathroom on AstroTurf, is because actually this last trip that I was on actually kind of illustrated how important that is. I had a feeling Jelly Bean had to go to the bathroom, and I found the pet relief area, and she did not like the AstroTurf at all. She was backing away from it, which indicated that she did not like the feel of it on her paws. So she was not going to go. One thing that I will say, that she did this trip that I didn't even know she could do is, okay, she had, actually she had 2 accidents, and they were 2 different kind of situations this trip. One, she had a tummy thing, so she kind of had about a diarrhea-ish poop. And then the second accident she had was because she didn't want to go in the pet relief area. So I noticed that she, I thought she was giving signs, but she wasn't really whining. Normally she'll pick up her pace, but she wasn't doing any of that. So I don't know. She just, maybe she was, I wasn't, maybe I was too tired to pick up on the signs, but anyways, she had an accident. So it was, the second accident was handler error. The first one was just she had a bug of some sort. Because of that, I have always had a fear of something like this happening, and it has happened in public. And I'm, one of the things that I always carry is an emergency mess kit, and that has baby wipes, it's got puppy pads, it has extra poop bags, hand sanitizer, and if worst case scenario, and this is not related to bathroom issues, if she gets hurt, I have a muzzle in the kit so that I have it on hand and I'm not stuck. So the mess kit saved me twice. The first time I was rushing to the gate because I didn't have enough time. Circumstances just happened that I had not given myself enough time to get through security and all that. So, and then with this accident, that took time to clean up. And so by the time I got to the gate, they were pre-boarding. And I didn't give myself for, it didn't really give me much time to do anything. So that was that. And with the second incident, like I said, I was walking, and she, like I said, she did something that I've never seen a dog do before. Is she was continuing walking, and she wasn't even trying to squat or anything like that because I didn't feel it. Is she was pooping and walking. So instead of, having, her squatting and pooping and it being in all one area, it was a significant distance. And how I found out about it was one of the airport employees came up to me. I think it was from another airline that I was flying with, and said, "I think your dog pooped on the floor." And I'm like, "Oh, she did." And he had placed garbage cans as markers to kind of prevent people from stepping in it. And when I saw how many he had put, it surprised me. So he had told me that he had called the cleanup crew, and I said, "Oh, don't worry about it. I can clean it up." He offered to get some napkins, and I said, "Oh no, I got the wipes." And so I proceeded to clean it up. And so I find the humor in this situation is I thought that I was done, and a pilot stopped and pointed behind him and said, "I think you missed a spot." And it was a good, 30 yards. No, it was probably longer than I don't know. It was a long distance. That's all I know. And so once I cleaned it up, I actually went to the individual who had initially brought it to my attention, and I thanked him for notifying me, because then it gave me an opportunity to rectify the situation. And he kind of recognized a possibility, and he kind of hit the nail on the head, which was I did not give Jelly Bean adequate time for a potty break. I had given it to her prior to the airport, but you always want to also give them plenty of opportunity prior to you going into the airport. Because like what happened to me is I figured she would be okay, and she wasn't. So that was lesson learned. So and again, I was rushing. Because I was rushing, I had, I guess you can say, cut corners, and I thought I was okay, and things didn't go well. Let's see. Oh, before I forget, before you even get to the airport, and I want to mention this before I forget, because I know I'm kind of all over the place, and this is why I'm not typing things out, is do not feed your dog or give your dog water at least 12 hours prior to your flight, because then they're obviously going to have to go. And if your dog is thirsty, one of the things that I order when the complimentary drinks come by is I ask for ice, and I offer her an ice cube, and so then she's not dehydrated. Okay, so I think I touched on everything that I can mentally think of at the moment, which is a lot, says a lot. I think that's everything. So yeah, so if anybody has anything else to add to this, feel free, comment, and I hope this helps you guys.